this is the card, like you said, if it goes unanswered for a turn or two, the game is over. And, you know, yes, your deck is well set up against it, but you didn't draw your answer and this game is over.
Yes.
Whereas Blade Splicer is nowhere near as punishing. And it doesn't feel anywhere near as hopeless when you're being Blade Splicered.
Yes.
So, moving on to our camera match, excuse me, because we were fortunate enough to get another match. We have Blue-Black Zombies by Phillip Drennon on the right, and Julian Santos, who has made it all the way out from Florida. He goes to University of Florida, has made it out this weekend to play Green-Red Aggro.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that both players are X and 1, and we are into game 2. So, anything interesting about Julian's deck list off the top?
He's basically, red-green beatdown, 4 bonfires, 4 hunt masters, and then basically mono-green besides that. He has 1 copy of Druid's Familiar as a Zenith target, which is not conventional.
It's conventional if you watch my stream.
Is it?
That's the Love Bear, baby.
Okay.
I love him.
All right.
Yeah, he's great. Hopefully we'll see it here, but yeah, I play one of those instead of a Throne.
Okay.
So I talked to Julian before the tournament. He asked if I had any changes to my deck list. I just told him to make sure you keep playing the Druid's Familiar. So.
All right. So the Knucklehead Parade is out in full for the zombie player here. Zombies is the standard deck I play the most of, so I'm familiar with the with this archetype and these types of draws. The triple Gravecrawler draw is, you know, Zombies is a funny deck. I've never really played a deck before where it's like you have 8 good cards, you have 4 Gravecrawlers, and you have 4 Messengers, and you can configure the rest of your deck however you want to, but the rest of your deck is 100% pure garbage.
Yeah.
And it's, if you draw a bunch of the if you draw a bunch of the sweet guys, it's like, all right, we're doing good. And if you draw too many of the you know, Fume Spitters and 2/1 Fear guys of the world, then you're just gonna get buried by everyone.
Sure. No, absolutely. And looking at Philip's Blue-Black Zombies deck list, you are going to find 4 Diregraph Ghouls, 4 Captains, and 4 Giraffes Messengers. And then he's got this smattering of other guys, like you said, Blood Artist, which is actually really, really good. It's super underranked for being a 2-mana 0/1 that can't attack or block very well. It does a lot of things even though it's just sitting there. He has 3 Phantasmal Images, he has a Butcher's Ghoul, he has a Diregraph Captain, he's got some Metamorphs, he has 1 Disciple of Bolas, 1 Skin Render, 1 Phyrexian Obliterator. So yeah, he has just this smattering of other doofuses in his deck.
Yeah. Here's the Blood Artist. Blood Artist is actually a card I'm not a huge fan of in Zombies. We can talk about that after the match.
Okay, I support it more than you would ever know, so we will definitely talk about it. So, as far as removal suite, really quickly, he has 2 Go for the Throats, 2 Tragic Slips, 2 Mortar Pods, he has 2 Ponders, and he has 3 Birthing Pods in his deck as well. Julian, after taking that damage and going down to 12, he searched for a mountain with his Borderland Ranger, ideally setting up a Bonfire of the Damned for 2. Okay, he has a Thragtusk, which is going to do a very, very nice job of stopping this.
Yeah. There's another... there's a pretty long list of cards you can't beat, and Thragtusk is a nice new addition to that list.
I think that Thragtusk is literally like at the top of the list of cards you can't beat.
Blade Splice is probably worse because you can't even hope your opponent stalls on lands with a Blade Splicer in their deck.
Sure.
You can hope they have 4, they stall on 4 or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Thragtusk is interesting because the go-to card that I used to normally go to beat zombies pre-M13 was Batterskull.
Yeah.
You know, it does a really nice job. You can equip it, move it around, do all these things. Thing about Thragtusk, but the thing about Batterskull is if they have some sort of sack outlet or something, you can negate the life gain. Well, Thragtusk is like, hi, we're gaining 5 life right now.
Right.
If you kill me or remove me,
that's fine too.
Yeah, I don't care. That's fine. 3/3 friend to block. 3/3 is bigger than all your 2/1s anyway. And then
there's a
things
Messenger.
get tough. So Messenger is one of the other really good cards and one of the best reasons to play zombies. So.
Oh yeah, he is. When I draw him with 3 black mana in play, I'm like, this can't even be real.
Yeah.
I've never gotten a deal this good in my life.
This card is better than any red card you've ever cast.
Yeah, by a lot.
And Julian is still attacking right into him. I mean, it makes me think he has another Thragtusk follow-up or 6 mana. Okay, Zenith for Thragtusk.
Well, he's only got 1. He's got another one on his board, so if he brought in the second one. Which seems safe to assume because the zombies, you're just dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is.
That's my Thragtusk noise. So that's going to gain 5 more life. It's crazy the difference between Thragtusk and Batterskull. Both cards are insanely good against zombies. Yeah. But the fact that you're gaining 5 life right now just makes you feel so much more comfortable. You can Zenith for it. If they do anything to kill it, you don't care.
Right.
And it's a fantastic clock.
Yes.
It's just crazy how good it is against this deck.
Yeah, like I've punked out plenty of Batterskulls just by having a Mortar Pod and a Gravecrawler.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You cannot do that against Rakdos.
No, it's just no nonsense, in your face, 5 life, bring it on.
Blood Artist has been really good this game.
What's that? what did you say?
I said Blood Artist has been really good this game.
Hey, Blood Artist didn't know Thraktos was coming to town, man.
It's been really good.
So that's going to be 6 damage from Blood Artist.
Knocks
He's going to
him
gain a
down.
life as well. You'll be surprised what Blood Artist can do. Chipping away.
I think aren't we seeing it right now?
Then you get this back.
Okay.
He probably has some sort of removal spell here. Go for the
Bonfire
throat or
when-
something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean
For
Drennon
Phillip,
here.
yeah. Pillar of Flame. Targeting Blood Artist is fairly good, actually. It's going to take away some of the shenanigans. He's going to kill something. All right, he's going to kill Thraktos.
He's gonna go with the Rakdos in response.
Which is fine. I'll take my body.
Yep.
I don't mind. Julian's going to go down to 8. There's going to be no trigger from Blood Artist because it's Pillar of Flame, removing it from the game. He's going to be at 8 life. He's got to be a little bit careful with how he makes his attacks this turn.
Yeah, you want to be careful. Santos has a pretty huge edge. He just has to be careful about not dying out of nowhere.
Yes. Doesn't want to do any. He doesn't want to, get arrogant, get cocky with what he adds. Yes, you're ahead, and yes, you're realistically only care about the Dross Messengers. That's in play, but don't get too far ahead of yourself, because the zombie deck can kill you out of nowhere.
Yeah, you have quite a bit of range. All right, so there's the Beast, Thrag Tusk.
The problem for Julian is that it looks like he only has Force in his hand, even though he's tapping mana now for a spell, or he's bluffing, casting a spell, and he tricked me.
Oh, he has a Zenith in his hand, I think.
Okay, he has a Zenith, and if I'm him in this spot, I'm probably getting a Huntmaster of the Fells because I just want to keep my life total as high as I possibly can.
Yeah. Also, it's impossible to beat a Huntmaster of the Fells if you're zombies.
Oh, another card you can't possibly beat?
No, not a chance.
Interesting deck you've chosen to play.
Not a chance.
Yeah. All right, 2 2/2s? Yeah, you win.
Yeah.
And assuming that's what he's got in this turn,
Yeah, I
I
would
can't
guess.
see.
I mean, he did it for 4. I don't even think there's another target in his deck. All right, there's the Druid's Familiar.
Don't forget about the Love Bear.
Yeah.
Love Bear. So yeah, we have our wolf token over there. There we go. So it's chopped off at the top of the screen, but you guys can't see the wolf token. So there is a Huntmaster out there. And now you just have to make sure that you don't die. That's all.
It's not too hard to prevent that from here.
I mean, 10 life is pretty healthy. Blood Artist is off the table, so no Killing Wave shenanigans should be able to take place. And I can't really think of many ways for our friend Phillip to get out of this. It looks like we may be playing a 3rd game.
Yeah, it looks very likely. I mean, he has to be able to kill the beast before combat to even be able to make reasonable attacks.
Yes. That's a Butcher Ghoul. And that is a 1-mana zombie Diregraph Ghoul because it's into play tap. And if you're passing back at this point, not attacking, that's not a winning position.
Yeah. The defensive Gravecrawler is not...
That's nobody's friend.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Right.
So 2 blockers.
Yeah, move those 2 out of the way.
Yeah, 2 blockers, and you can bank on Huntmaster flipping this turn if that's what you want to do. Strangleroot Geist is going to add 2 more damage to the clock.
I think he's Zenith
for another Strangleroot
Strangleroot
Geist, and that should finish it off. That should take care of business. Looking at the blockers, he can block a Thrag Tusk, he can block a Huntmaster of the Fells, and he's going to go ahead and concede, sure. So we're going to be going to a 3rd game. Now, looking at Phillip's sideboard, now that we are in a sideboard game, we have a moment. Cards that he has access to that are important. Fume Spitter ×2, which are going to take care of the mana dorks.
Yep.
Keep him off of getting the Thrag Tusk very quickly. 2 Killing Waves, which work extremely well with Blood Artist, is definitely something else to consider. He also has 2 Phyrexian Obliterators, which is very difficult for a green deck to beat. Patrick and I talked about a little bit earlier how good it is against green decks, but a 5/5 that you can't block profitably is going to be a huge problem.
Yep.
Looking here, we also have a Dismember, which is fairly good. The 4th Blood Artist in the board. Skin Render is also fairly good as well. And Vile Rebirth is fairly good against the Undying trigger of Strangleroot. I don't think he wants to dilute his deck that much, but it is an option if he'd like to.
Yep, and on the other side we have 3 copies of Pillar of Flame, a 2nd copy of Thrag Tusk, and 3 copies of Sword of War and Peace, which I'm not sure if he wants, but could potentially be alright. Just 1 hit from that. You don't need to do like a lot to get yourself out of zombies' range, you know what I mean? But
sure.
I'd probably leave him on the bench. Anyhow, the reason that I do not like Blood Artists is mostly because of the Delver matchup. Like, I feel that the more cards that you have in your deck, and equipment falls in this camp as well, then it's like, I need to get A and B together to like get this good value. The more that you're playing into Mana Leaks and Gut Shots and Vapor Snags, it's just too easy for them to efficiently like break up A plus B into C type of draws.
Okay.
Which Blood Artist is asking you to do. I think the best plan for beating Delver is just to go guy, kill spell, like just attack you over and over again with whatever.
Okay.
And not have things that are relying on other things to get your value out of them.
Okay.
That might change as the metagame moves to a more green-red, Naya, Pant-centric world, and I think Blood Artist is much better against those kind of decks.
Okay.
But basically, I left it out of my deck basically because I thought it made your Delver matchup dramatically worse having it.
Sure. Well, most of my play is online, as you probably know. You know, between the streaming and all that stuff, most of what I'm doing is online, and the online metagame has shifted to that green-red centric type of thing.
Yeah.
Zombies is seen a lot online because of how inexpensive it is to build. Outside of Dross Messenger, there really isn't a very expensive card in the deck. And Dross Messenger isn't even that expensive to begin with. And so when your metagame is heavily saturated with zombies and green-red decks, that's where Blood Artist really shines. Yes. It'll come as no surprise to you that Blood Artist is fantastic in the mirror.
Right.
And there are less Delver decks, and I think that there are less Delver decks in real life as well now because we're in the honeymoon period, in the experimental period of Standard. So people are trying all these decks, and Blood Artist is fairly good against most of the decks of the format. I agree with you that it's fairly bad against Delver, however.
Yeah, and that was for the last couple of months that's been kind of priority 1. It's like if you're comparing Blood Artist against even something like Walking Corpse, like I would much rather have Walking Corpse against Delver, and I think against Ramp, like just the straight Primeval type Ramp decks, it's pretty close to a push which one of those 2 cards is better. And then against everything else, I think Blood Artist is better. And once everything else becomes a sizable portion of the metagame, which it looks like that's kind of the direction we're moving, then Blood Artist probably becomes a card that I'm going to want as well.
Okay. Blood Artist it's a very interesting card because I don't think, I was having a talk with one of my friends online, I don't think we've ever had that effect priced this cheaply.
Oh, no, yeah.
It's never been at 2 mana because it's easy to look at Blood Artist and you're like, dude, it's a 2 mana 0/1, it doesn't do anything. But it's never been that cheap to have that effect. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's the reason that the card's actually good. It would be great if it was a zombie instead of being a vampire, but I mean, we don't live in a perfect world.
No, we cannot have it all.
So Julian's taking a look into his opening hand. I know I see a Copperline Gorge. I think his other land's a Rootbound Crag. I know that I saw a Sword of Feast and Famine.
Well, turn 1, go.
I'm not in love with turn 1 go. I think a 1-drop is so important for your deck.
Yep. This is the reason I play the full 12.
Sure, the Fume Spitters as well.
Yep.
Now the only reason, and when this happens to me when I play against zombies, if they go turn 1 go, that means they have 1 or 2 Dross Messengers in their hand. I think that's the only hand that they could keep where that's reasonable.
Sure.
Is they have either a bucket load of Dross Messengers and like images and stuff, or he already has the 4 lands for Phyrexian Obliterator. I think that's the only hand you can keep where you don't have a turn 1 play.
Yeah.
It's
also possible that like you just value your Knuckleheads a lot lower after board because of all the sweep and the Thragtusk and the Hunt Masters just kind of make them like, this is not how you're going to win the game. You basically need to combo out with this sort of, like, you need this sort of board to win the game, not like all your 2-1s.
Sure. So there is the first of what could potentially be many Dross Messengers. We know that Phillip's deck list has 3 Phantasmal Images and 3 Phyrexian Metamorphs, so he has access to a lot of that card. Julian needs to play something relevant, and that is not the best of plays this turn.
Could be good next turn if that elf doesn't die.
Yeah, it could be okay next turn, but what scares me now is that if Phillip has something like a Phyrexian Obliterator or
a Fume Spitter.
A Fume Spitter, a Tragic Slip. There's just a lot that can go wrong this turn. Even though he's hitting him with a sword, you are looking at a 5/5. And I think we're about to be looking
Oh no!
Okay. And one from the artist. Ding!
That is actually arguably worse than a obliterator. Other than I guess his bonfire draw is still good.
Yeah, I mean it's comparable.
You just Strangleroot Geist would be good.
Strangleroot would be really good.
That's something.
That's something, yeah.
You would much prefer to be on a Llanowar Elf.
Yeah, so it can trade with the Skin Render.
Yeah.
See, these are the board states that you get into where Blood Artist is like very, very threatening and dominating because you're just a little bit ahead, and you know the blocking.
So many points, so many random points.
Yeah, the blocking is nice. Or
you got to block that messenger, man. We can't not block it.
Yeah, you have to block it because you have to turn Bonfire on.
And you also just can't take 6 with Blood Artist in play.
Sure, I mean he's taking 6 this turn anyway.
Yeah, but you had to make some progress in whittling down his board.
Yeah. He's gonna go down to 8, and a Bonfire is gonna put him down to 5 if he's able to miracle it. I think he may have one in his hand, but he's not
we don't have 7
for enough. Phantasmal Image. Okay. Yep.
More artists.
Killing Wave. You're dead.
All right. Okay. That's a wrap.
That's it. How those Blood Artists look now?
I mean, if Blood Artists...
Suck it. Yep.
I think if Blood Artists...
I'm not going to let you talk because I'm right.
For sure, if Blood Artists...
The thing is that's my first time I was right today.
Yes! I'm pretty sure if Blood Artist was Walking Corpse that game, he would have done more points.
What?